Hi, welcome to Awakening Soul Truth. I'm Robbie Short. This is Allison Ledbetter, and we're here to have some in-depth conversations. Today, we're talking about seeing through the illusion.
Seems to be happening everywhere. Like, people are really beginning to notice that a lot of things are being called out, and people are also witnessing, viewing scary looking beings.
Yeah, we just saw that on a viral video, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
I think the whole world has seen this, of the woman on the airplane screaming out, "He's not real, he's not real." One of our friends sent that video to me. I want to know your thoughts because you're psychic and can pick up energetically on things. What was your take on that video?
So I absolutely thought that she truly saw something there and was experiencing in real time, noticing that the illusion was gone. Part of this process of awakening is to be able to see the illusion.
To see the truth.
To see the truth. So you might actually see really dark beings, because they actually are pretty much everywhere. A friend of mine asked me that she's awake, she can see. She's like, why is there so much darkness around? I'm like, you're actually seeing that layer of the matrix that's been there forever, and it's just dark, and people shadow. Like, there's really reptilians. There's really bad energy out there that cloaks.
Okay, so if someone's joining us and has no idea what this term reptilian means,
they're aliens from different planet, or beings from a different planet that literally look like reptilians.
Yeah.
And they're all about the exterior world being beautiful, and they do a lot of trickery. They trick human souls into giving over their power or their energy. We imagine us, we're like a little energy battery. We're like a battery of light because we have the divine spark within us. Everyone has the divine spark. And so when I talk about like people taking your light, or an energy vampire like sucking your light or energy, like you feel drained, literally they've taken your life force energy from you. Well, everyone's life force energy is designed for their purposes only, and everyone has equal access or right to it. Just claim it. It's inside of you. It's like an energy pack of life force energy. It's a God droplet, I call it too. That's what I tell kids.
If you're someone who is around a certain person and you always feel drained from them, what about environments?
Environments can very much hold that space. You can actually have environments on the earth that look like vortex, like spinning. They're chakras. So we've talked about chakras. Well, the earth has chakras. We refer to them as vortexes. Some of them are really strong and light, and then some of them are like dead and black and kind of sink inwards. And I did a healing this week on a vortex. It was so fascinating because this was, oh my gosh, so much is shifting on the planet that my work is becoming so easy and it's magical. I mean, I thought I was mystical before, and I'm like mind blown every day. So being able to raise stones out of the earth to make a grid, a protective grid of light. Mm-hmm. For this black hole that we saw on the earth, and this is actually in Pulaski, Tennessee. And if you know the history of this area, this is where the rise of the Ku Klux Klan came. But before that was an entire crumbling of Native American cultures. And when I first went out there to do healing work on it, I found a group of Native Americans that was in so much pain and stuck and angry, and that anger gave rise to the Ku Klux Klan. So anger starts to feed on it, and they had called me back. They're like, it's up again, it's happening. I'm like, oh my gosh, kind of embarrassed. I was like, wow, I've worked on this 2 times. House was burnt down there, and lo and behold, this time work with a friend. I called a friend because I needed help. This sinking black hole was there. So these obelisks, beautiful, that held light and earth stone at the same time, came out of the ground and made a circle around the entire thing. It was beautiful. And then after we got it spinning the right way and healing, and it took a hot minute, to get to put healing energy. We did the Reiki symbols. We asked, God to help, the divine to help, Mother Earth to heal. All this dark stuff kind of bubbled up and out of it.
Ew.
But the vortex healed. And it started spinning the right direction. And once that
And this was a new thing.
Yeah.
Because the other two healings, you didn't see the vortex or it didn't.
Right. I couldn't see how vast the was.
Good job.
I know, it's so exciting. But those stones laid down and formed a grid, almost like stitches of earth energy. And it started to weave in the green and the flow of light through it so that it was encased in the Mother Earth again.
Oh, nice.
It was so beautiful.
So, obviously, if this happened in Pulaski, Tennessee, don't you think there's more of these positions?
Yes, there's big ones throughout the world.
If you guys have traveled anywhere and if you have felt this,
oh yeah,
tell us about it. Tell us where and maybe when you experienced it. Like,
there's also great points of light where people are really like, oh, joy. I feel the joy here, and it comes naturally from the land. A lot of places where water runs. You want to know what we found out about Pulaski and just two other things? We found out the Trail of Tears went through that area directly.
Oh, I believe that.
And was actually an accumulation of many of the different paths the Trail of Tears came together there.
Okay, I want to take you somewhere.
Ooh, where?
And if you guys haven't heard about this place, you should probably go too. A place down in McMinnville, Tennessee, or outside of McMinnville, Tennessee. And there's this person, Sadhguru, who created this kind of yogic ashram down there. The temple there, he picked this place because it passed through the Trail of Tears. And where the temple's located and where the lingam is that they have in the temple where they pour the water over, it's like a little ritual.
So healing.
It's supposed, yes, that's his purpose of being there, was to heal.
Oh, that's just lovely.
This history, yeah.
How beautiful.
So I feel like you need to go now.
I would love
They
to
have a
meet
huge
him.
bust of Shiva. It's beautiful. Okay, we're going to take a road trip.
Yeah, road trip. Maybe we'll film there. That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. So back to our point that things are really, really healing. There was a spin out of the dark energy from this healing. Dark energy didn't have a home anymore. It wasn't rooted. And I called Robbie and I'm like, hey, this is what we need to talk about. There's a lot of loose, dark energy out there right now because it's not rooted, it's not grounded, it doesn't have a home base. We're evolving so much, the darkness doesn't have a base anymore.
So that sounds good to me.
It sounds good, but
does it mean there's going to be more chaos?
Absolutely, and it's freaking
like
people
there could
out.
be any more chaos,
right? Oh, we know it's rough. This is the rough time. Don't dig into it.
Okay, I heard Pamela Gregory say something the other day, and it was a quote by Eckhart Tolle, and I'm totally going to butcher it. When there's more light, the darkness gets chaotic because it doesn't know where to go.
Right.
And it was something similar to what you're saying.
Yes. And it spun out hard.
Yeah.
We were kind of like,
it's kind of what
we had to clean it up. Some of it, we tried to clean up as much as we could, but we forced the anchor out. It was really amazing. And you're right. There's the chaos.
Yeah.
And I think the really important thing to convey to you all is that, oh my gosh, how many years have we spent cleaning up I've spent a lot of years cleaning up the anchor points of dark energy. And so I really can say to you that you're seeing it now because the veil's almost gone. And you know how kids throw a tantrum before they comply?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the dark energy's doing. It's like 2 years old.
Throwing a big tantrum.
It's throwing the big ass tantrum. And I do think some of it complies. And I would say that some of it doesn't. It just busts.
You're not the only one who's able to see and has his power that have said this woman on the airplane was seeing a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
I've I listen to a lot of people that she doesn't even know who they are.
I know, which is cool.
And they've all been saying the same thing. So
there's truly a shift happening that the darkness can't anchor. That we're gonna see more like real.
So
darkness.
Everyone's saying this woman's crazy, or she's schizophrenic, or blah blah blah. It's like, no, she's just seeing through the veil.
Yeah, and isn't it a known fact that the darkness will actually call out and say that the light's darkness? They'll project it. So of course, normal pattern of humans to keep suffering going is to attack the woman that saw the truth. What happens if she did see it? I mean, really feel that. We're fucked. Sorry, that was a big word. But really, I mean, if you
That's
think
the word she
about
kept
it,
using.
Yeah.
Now I would say.
I'm not saying we're fucked, but
I used to be a flight attendant for 12 years, so my thing is just watch your language. Like,
oh, sorry.
There's a polite. No. I don't care about you because this is an adult forum.
Right.
But when you're on an airplane and you freak out because you're seeing something,
right?
It's like, do you really have to use that language?
Well,
when there's children around.
If I had seen that, I don't think I would have been cool with it. Because I can see it, but I've got somewhat of a filter. I'm seeing it in the other plane.
Yeah.
If I saw it in real time, like if all of a sudden you turned into a big ass scary being,
who am I to judge? I don't know.
Yeah, I would pee my pants.
Yeah.
I
don't know what I would do.
I know, right? Because I think we've gotten used to being able to see it or sense it or feel it. And we've kind of desensitized from it. Well, and we're concerned about you guys all of a sudden really being able to see it because the veil created the illusion in the visual world. It disconnected you from your heart and your soul where truth really is. And so once you disconnect from that, there's all this space where illusion can be.
Okay, since we're talking about this, we have to go there because I just came back from North Carolina where my father has been hospitalized for the last 6 weeks. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Last week before I went out of town, I had checked in with you and you had checked in with my father. And basically he was doing really well when I had visited a couple weeks ago and when my sister visited. And when we both left, it was like, he just started plummeting backward again.
Yeah.
And you had checked in and you said, I think there's some dark energy there feeding off of him.
It's keeping him stuck.
And you said, let's work on this together. Don't do it without me. Yeah. And what did I do?
She went and did it without me.
I went and did it without her.
I just wanted you to be safe.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
But I did it without her. I didn't listen to you. But it was really because it was the weekend. It was Sunday. I know that's a good family day for you. I didn't want to disrupt your family time.
Yeah, but
and I had some moments and I took myself there and I felt I can pick up more subtle images and intuitive messages when I'm performing Reiki. So I'm doing distant Reiki and I sent 3 around his bed. And the funny thing was, before you had told me that, when I would picture him being in that room, I kept blasting it with symbols and light. And I was like, why am I doing that? Because that's not...
Clear it.
Right. So when you said that, I was like, okay, something's obviously occurring here. And I saw 3 different ones. And I'm trying to clear it. And then you popped in.
Energetically,
you popped in and you like growled because there's one came back and it had just teeth and like, I mean, it was nasty.
Yeah.
It kind of lunged at me and then you came in energetically.
Yeah.
And I was
growled.
Like, yeah, you growled at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I checked with dinner the next day, like, I did something that you told me not to do. I just wanted to make sure nothing had probably attached to me.
I think I was probably protecting that. And as soon as you felt threatened, you probably like, hello, help. Yeah. And so when people call out for help, you're going to show up. Light's going to show up.
Yeah.
And that's to say angels were probably there. But I love this story because truly... when you were blasting the energy around him, you instinctively knew without looking, something's really off.
Right.
And I'm going to protect my dad and clear the space. And then it was like, yeah, no, there's actually beings there. So this is kind of the realm of engagement we all need to start doing. This is going to start happening. We all need to choose the light and love and say we're no longer going to be manipulated. We're not playing this game. And so when I growled, it was like, yeah, you don't have the rights here. You don't have the right to feed off of this person's energy. Mm-hmm. You tricked them in the first place to giving free, like, they trick us so that it looks like our free will is handing over the energy. Like, we've made the choice to do this. Well, in fact, we haven't. And back to, like, this overall suffering, we have to make the choice to stop suffering. You got to walk away from this. We're done with this whole cycle of belief of, well, this is all lessons. I'm all for lessons. I'm all for the yin and the yang, or the push or the pull to create a lesson. That's not what's happening here. Mm. Okay, this is way too much suffering. The rest of the universe is like, y'all are a mess. This is too much pain. We don't have to live in this much turmoil and competition and pitting each other against another. This is not your true nature. Your true nature is divine. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so the other side of this is that divine nature. What are we looking at? You're going to find that your beings sparkle. There's a part of you that's really evolved. It just hasn't been able to hook up and come through. I did a healing today that was so profound because he had been in wars, too. He was really blaming himself, felt terrible, couldn't let it go, heart just heavy. And I'm like, yeah, that happened. And it's over. And you got to forgive yourself. And you don't need to be in this karmic cycle of pain and, well, now I got to have that happen to me. No. God loves us so much. Our divine soul loves us so much. Walk away. Into the light. Walk into the light. Let it go. Let the pain, the suffering, the lies, the torment go. It's just time. Mm-hmm. And you asked me a beautiful question about that movie that came out.
Oh, yes. You had reached out to me while you were in Paris asking
to go to this movie.
The Sound of Freedom. It's getting a lot of buzz. I think it's doing better in the box office than most Hollywood films right now.
The Sound of Freedom.
And it's based on a true story. It's based on someone who worked for the government who, I think he was down in Colombia. I haven't seen it yet. But basically he was discovering child trafficking. Yeah. And he chose to make this kind of his life work. And so the film is based on that. But what I was asking Allison before we started filming, I said, because we're in this transitionary period where the dark matrix is dissolving, but like fighting hard to like keep its power.
Alive. Yeah.
I said, I know where attention goes, energy flows. And I know that certain things that we focus on, we can be feeding it. I said, so is this documentary being put out as a way to feed the darkness, or is it for the good?
Yeah, it is absolutely for the good.
Yeah.
And absolutely bringing children the prayers. So, like, I think it's a really good question, and we should be really thoughtful about it and say, if you're going to watch that, please do. And remember, don't get angry. Because that is what feeds the darkness.
Right.
But righteous,
it's like Star Wars.
Justice. Right.
Anger leads to hate. Hate fuels the darkness. Yeah. So my thinking was, and then you can keep talking.
No, please.
I told her, I was like, when I get caught up in the subject matter, I always think about this is getting taken down. This is the ending of this cycle. And things are going on behind the scenes that we're not even aware of. And actually, there's a lot of things coming to the forefront. I mean, there's people getting busted left and right in the news, right? There was a church that went down in Indiana. There's another church organization that's gone down up in the Northeast. It's still happening in Britain.
What are they
look at BBC,
down?
There's different people and celebrities in Britain that are getting busted with this.
With
similar
the child
to
sex trafficking?
Well, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Molesting children.
Yes.
All that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, you're right. Be positive. It's taking down, bringing light, bringing compassion, bringing healing, remembering to think these people have the right to their freedom. Think about freedom, how important it is for you, how important it is in your soul. Expand on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when we look at hard things, it's not to get angry.
Yeah, it's think about these children getting rescued and getting helped and being nurtured and getting the healing that they need.
We're willing to look at it finally. That's why this is taking off. As a culture, we're saying, yeah, we got to look at this. This is really scary.
It's really, of course, sick.
Really sick. So my philosophy is that children have such bright lights that's why people in who want power feed off of children. Literally feed off of them. Sorry.
Yeah. It's gross.
Mm-hmm. We love children and we want to keep them safe and we protect them. With all of our hearts, we protect them, protect them, protect them.
I don't know. There's other things happening too about seeing through this illusion of what we thought was reality. You know, we've talked about in videos in the past about the false sense of security.
Oh, yeah.
And Allison wasn't aware of this, but, you know, there's a lot of catastrophic things happening on the planet. You know, Vermont's getting flooded. I think Spain got flooded. And anyway, this is happening in pocket. India is getting flooded right now. But when Florida got flooded last year, there were dozens of insurance companies that just pulled out of Florida. And the same thing is starting to happen in California between the wildfires and the landslides. Insurance companies are backing out of the state. Now think about that. Insurance is supposed to be invest in this in case something happens. And then when something happens, now the insurance companies are not wanting to pay up or to assist.
Yeah, that's really shitty.
And
by the way, we're just going to take
this
your
is
money.
Why insurance sucks. It shouldn't be a part of.
Well, they gave you a false illusion that they were going to protect you and help you. And for a lot of people, we really bought into that. And it worked. I mean, it did work for a while. But I think if they're going to run and they've been living off the money for a long, long time.
Yeah, they can't.
And they set a ratio. It's like the stacked house of when you go gambling, the house always wins. Mm-hmm. Well, the insurance companies always win. And to really look at, if you brought it down to a different economic approach or a different system, that if you were in a community and something tragic happened, you actually all could unite and be together and help that. I think as we awaken, we're going to find that we have these internal systems of community, smaller groups, really coming together, being aware, conscious of, I love this person, I would like to help them. Yeah. We don't have that attitude at all. You kind of are like, oh God, that sucks for that family. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, it really does suck for that family. And I think we'll get to a place of compassion and understanding where we know how to uphold each other.
Yeah.
The rest of the universe does it. Well, I mean, there are some dark pockets obviously in the universe, but here on Earth, where we have this kind of collective of different parts of the universe happening, we're really trying to reestablish the spiritual law again. That laws of respect, and that's going to happen naturally.
And love and kindness,
integrity,
and compassion, honesty, integrity, all of that.
Yeah, that for me is my biggest one. You have to have integrity, and we can't see it because people can lie, and we're like, you know, that sheep and wool
clothing,
or is it the wolf and sheep's clothing?
I don't remember.
Yeah, right.
You know what we're talking about.
You know, I mean, I often find like beings that are really, really dark, they reflect back to you your light, so that's their cover. Mm-hmm. And then when we start to see that they can't reflect back our light because that illusion's gone, we're going to see that they're really scary looking beings. I just had that happen where I had a person I thought was a good friend, but they were only reflecting my light. In fact, they were extremely manipulative and trying to cut me off from all these other people in my life. Mm. I mean, you know that. We've talked about it. And it was like, wow. I mean, that's part of an illusion too. If you have somebody who's isolating you, if it's a spouse or even, a sibling or somebody who makes you feel small and is not supportive of you, that's part of the dark matrix too. Like, you gotta really be like, if you're not supporting me and loving me, don't do it. Don't hang out with those people. Like, yeah, if you're doing that to another person, if you're making another person small so that you feel safe, stop.
Yeah.
You have your own light.
I wanted to bring up another current event.
Nice.
I don't think we've talked about this. If
Oh,
we did,
back
I
to the
apologize.
insurance companies too.
But, I'm done with the insurance companies. Let's just
'Cause
be
they
done
aren't-
with them
they-
altogether anyway.
They're going to fail us.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like Big Pharma fails us.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up Las Vegas because
Oh.
this is another alien story.
Ooh.
I have not seen the footage. I don't even care to see the footage. But I do know it was making a lot of headlines.
that
there was this-
shipwrecked.
Well, I've heard shipwreck, but I've also heard ship landing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It came into the yard, that's for sure.
But the family all saw these like 8-foot beings and tried to get a little footage. A police officer
Saw
on
the
duty
ship coming
also
in.
saw it. But anyway, all this has been shushed and debunked as being false narrative or false news or whatever. But
Really?
a lot of people, like yourself,
Right.
are coming out and saying, no, that actually is true. And
Yeah.
they, the nefarious ones, the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, are the ones shutting down the conversation.
Yeah.
But they're here. Wasn't
And
that...
some of them are really nice and loving and their vibration's high, and then there's others that are dark. But one thing is true. They have to follow spiritual law.
Okay, this is what I wanted you to share.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, please do this.
So, like, literally, if something's existing in kind of a realm that's hard for you to see, you can ask it and it has to answer you. And
So what do you ask?
I often say, are you here to create love? And, are you here to create love in my life? Is your purpose loving or is your purpose harmful? Is your purpose self-serving to them? And if they say yes, I'm like, leave now. Leave.
So they do
And
tell
I
you the
have-
truth.
They do. Or they just withdraw immediately. They pull back. And it makes more distance. And don't panic. You have to step into your power. This is that moment of not abandoning yourself. You know that fight, flees, or...
Fight,
Fight.
flight, freeze.
Yeah, don't fly. Stay grounded. Freeze in there. Go in here.
Yeah.
But truly, there is that karmic rule. And, Earth kind of has this belief that free will is supposed to be protected of the individual. And that's not what's happened. Because, the Galactic Federation actually says, they don't interfere because they're trying to honor free will. Well, everybody else is messed up with humanity's free will. They're not honoring that. We're in this real big spiritual war, and it is for your free will. It's so that you have the power to create and decide from yourself. And you're going to find that you're great joy. The principle of no harm is really real. You aren't allowed to create harm in the universe.
And that's the first principle of yoga, ahimsa, non-harming.
Non-harming. And it's really one of the first principles in the universe. Right? So
Very cool.
We're really at this place of restructuring, having the dark side revealed, disintegrating. The roots of it are gone because they had a lot of it in time space in the past that kept us locked in the past. That's been my area, finding past lives, but it's group conscious past lives and healing them. And we have the right to be sovereign, each individual. And when you line up, this is the coolest thing. When you're in your light, when you're in your soul and connected to joy and love, you automatically make an egg-shaped energy bubble. around you. It seals you. Nobody can get in. Make your egg. It's a bubble. I mean, I've said it before, that bubble, so many times.
That's what I was doing to Gabriel and I every day when we entered the hospital. I'm like, put your bubble on.
Yeah.
Bring your light up. Call in protection.
Bubble up. Bubble up. I think another way we're going to be able to tell, because integrity is happening, we're going to be able to see the truth on earth. People won't be able to lie to you, and you'll be like, wait, what just happened? Symbols in the third eye. So I've been starting to see the symbols returning. People, wherever they are, from whatever planet they are, the symbol really denotes the original planet you're from, what you're aligned with.
Do I have a symbol? What's my symbol?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta really look.
I put you on the spot. I'm
sorry. You did, but it's so fine. Okay, so it's actually a massive flower with golden edges on it. There's like a tree in it, but not at the same time. It's more like the earth elements. So to me, it's almost like this beautiful flower with gold edges. The flower is vibrant in color, meaning it shapes different colors with the gold edges, and there's an element of the wood with it.
Ooh, I love it.
That's your symbol.
Thank you.
Mine's boring compared to
What's yours?
It's just like blue water, like...
That's beautiful.
It's like, yours is really elaborate.
I'll
That's
take
really cool, yeah. So we're seeing symbols in people, and you'll be able to see the dark symbols. Don't be friends with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're actually disintegrating. Please pay attention to your joy. Don't feed the news.
Oh my God.
Don't feed it. Stay out of it. Really, really.
My dad had Fox News on every day at the hospital. I said, can we please turn this off? Because it doesn't matter what station it was. It's still the news. And think about all the negativity and opinions that are being thrown at you.
Yeah.
And he would laugh at me because he can't speak, but he would just laugh at me because I'm like, what are you doing watching this? It's distorting your brain and body cells. This is not healing.
No.
And he would just giggle. And then he'd keep pointing at it like he was just soaking it up. I'm like, this isn't healing.
Not healing. But a good counteraction to that, if you're worried, is when you go into just feeling the beautiful music, or just feel joy looking at your children, looking at nature. Fill up with that stuff and then spread that to others. I think that's the best policy. Oh. Water, too.
Okay, what about water?
Just blessing water. So they talk a lot about water. I guess Pam Gregory brought it up again. That woman, Austin, we've talked about water can be imprinted with our thoughts.
Yes.
So if you bless your water and say, like, I'm bringing peace and harmony to this water, I say everything three times and just then drink the water. And that harmonizes in your body. What a beautiful, easy way to bring healing. Okay, let's take a minute and just kind of get settled. Maybe roll your shoulders a little bit. Big sighs. I love to sigh. Big breaths in. Just remembering that the breath unifies and brings connection to spirit. Ready? And when you release and give that heavy sigh, you can even say, I'm releasing the hard stuff. I'm releasing the stress. I'm releasing other people's energy from my body. And just affirming as you breathe in, I'm breathing in the light, into my essence, into my core. I am releasing the stress, the illusion. Breathing in to the divine matrix. Breathing in to your heart, connecting to your divinity. Now really take your thoughts and your mind into your heart chakra. Allow yourself to notice what color that is soothing and calming that surrounds you. Allow this vibrant, beautiful color to heal and unify your cells, your body. I'm just absorbing this brilliant, beautiful light. I am allowing this light from my inner world to fill up every cell in my body. I'm breathing in to the light of the divine. The color might change. It might even become iridescent or just sparkly. You can even notice where energy might be stuck. Noticing now where it's tight. And just take your mind and your breath into that spot. And as you breathe into this tight spot, bring in the beautiful color. What does this need? I am bringing harmony and light and healing. I am dissolving the pain. I am dissolving any illusion. every time you breathe into this spot, declaring love, unity, harmony, and beautiful colors. You are healing. And as you heal a spot, allow the new flow of energy to fill up your entire body, expanding. I am a beautiful light. I have divine purpose. I am trusting my divine essence. And as you expand, feel the safety. Feel the true harmony. A sense of home. This is the lens to look at the world through. This is the energy, this high vibration energy called to the earth. You have the right to this beauty. You have the right to stand in your light. And when your light comes from the inside out, you are protected. You are creative. You are aligned with the power of love. I am standing strong in my light. I shine. I am love. Thank you for joining us today.